Please see the full disclaimer on your screen before we begin.
Have you ever, clicked buy on a Wednesday afternoon and then somehow had that exact package waiting on your porch before dinner? I mean, that instant gratification isn't magic. It's actually a massive, completely invisible infrastructure shift that's happening right in your backyard. So, welcome to this explainer. Today, we are uncovering the hidden world of last mile delivery. We're going to look at how your local, everyday shopping centers are secretly and rapidly transforming. By the time we hit 2026, the strip mall down the street, it won't just be where you grab your groceries. It's literally going to be the bustling, high-tech epicenter of modern e-commerce.
Okay, let's dive into this. So, for decades, the absolute golden rule of retail real estate was super simple. You probably know it. Location, location, location. But as we look at the reality of 2026, which is heavily driven by what industry insiders call the Amazon effect, that old mantra, it's officially dead. Today's winning formula is all about logistics, labor, and location. It's a total paradigm shift. Instead of just, looking pretty and facing the consumer, retail spaces now have to solve incredibly complex back-end operations. It's a complete reimagining of what a neighborhood store actually does.
Section 1. The last mile problem. Let's look at the final stretch.
Now, what's really interesting here is the sheer scale of the challenge. Think about a global supply chain. Getting goods from a factory overseas to a massive regional warehouse, that's relatively straightforward. But getting a single tube of toothpaste from that massive warehouse to your specific front door in 2 hours? Wow, that is an enormously expensive logistical nightmare. To solve this, the industry is turning to what are called micro-fulfillment centers, or MFCs. Basically, these are small-scale warehouse modules, usually just 4,000 to 5,000 square feet. And here's the crazy part. They're being secretly tucked right into the vacant spaces of big box stores in your neighborhood. You could literally be shopping for shoes in the front, completely unaware that just on the other side of the wall, a high-velocity inventory system is whirring away, prepping online orders to meet those super-fast 2-hour delivery windows.
Section 2. Inside the hybrid hub. This is where retail literally meets logistics.
So this shift is creating a massive new trend. We call it the 60-40 split. Retailers are aggressively repurposing their physical footprints. Now, about 60% of the space remains an experiential showroom, the beautiful, well-lit area where you actually walk around and interact with products. But an astonishing 40% is now dedicated strictly to back-of-house automated fulfillment. Think about that for a second. Nearly half of the store you walk into is actually a localized warehouse operating entirely out of sight. But you might be wondering, what happens when a store isn't working as a showroom at all? Well, that's where we get the fascinating concept of dark stores. These are fully converted, formerly underperforming retail units. From the outside, the old brick-and-mortar signage might still be hanging up, right? It looks like a completely normal neighborhood store, but inside, it's completely dark to the general public. It functions strictly as a local distribution pickup center. It's this bustling operational hub specifically for gig economy drivers, folks working for Uber Direct or DoorDash, who are seamlessly grabbing orders and getting them to your door in a matter of minutes. Section 3. Why neighborhoods win. Let's explore the strategic advantages here. So why shove these massive logistical operations into quiet suburban strip malls in the first place? Why not just build giant, cheap warehouses way out in the desert? To really understand the strategic value of these infill locations, we have to look at 3 huge advantages. First up is proximity. They are already perfectly situated exactly where the customers actually live. Second, they act as brilliant zone-skipping injection points. What that means is, instead of the Postal Service routing every single package through massive sorting facilities, bulk shipments can be broken down right at your local center and handed directly to local couriers. And finally, there's the adaptive reuse factor. For landlords who are struggling with vacant retail spaces in tertiary markets, converting them into industrial hubs provides a much-needed higher yield. It completely revitalizes properties that might have otherwise just been abandoned. The absolute most crucial point here boils down to this dramatic number, 50%. When a micro-fulfillment center is dropped right into a neighborhood, it might be just 5 miles away from the customer, instead of a traditional warehouse that's, say, 50 miles away. And cutting that distance down, it doesn't just shave off a few minutes. It can actually reduce both fuel costs and delivery times by up to half. 50%. I mean, that is the difference between cold pizza and hot pizza. And in an industry where profit margins are razor thin, that kind of efficiency is absolutely game-changing.
Section 4, Roadblocks and Retail Friction, also known as the Cowboy Series strategy.
Now, of course, you can't just drop heavy industrial logistics right into the middle of everyday pedestrian shopping without a few sparks flying, right?
Navigating this takes what some call a cowboy CRE real estate strategy. It's a highly adaptive and sometimes aggressive approach to some really intense operational hurdles. For starters, traditional shopping centers were designed for minivans and sedans. They were not built for massive delivery vehicles. They completely lack the deep truck courts and dock doors you need for high-frequency industrial turnover. On top of that, strict zoning laws and neighborhood rules strongly prohibit things like loud, nocturnal loading. And finally, there's the last yard conflict. Just picture this, an 18-wheeler and a fleet of frantic gig economy delivery drivers all trying to share a tight parking lot with a family loading groceries into their minivan. It is an everyday operational tightrope. Section 5, the 2026 Survival Guide. Let's look at the future stakes.
Fast forward to 2026, and AI-powered route optimization won't just be some neat little feature, it is going to be the absolute standard. Because of that, what makes a winning site today isn't just about having good window displays or heavy foot traffic. Investors are desperately looking for high-velocity potential. Basically, a site absolutely must have easy, immediate highway access and minimal peak-hour congestion to ensure those delivery vans literally never get stuck in traffic. But it also requires hidden physical traits. For example, structural capacity. The floors have to handle heavily increased loads. Because think about it, it's not just humans walking those backroom aisles anymore. It's entire fleets of heavy, automated picking robots moving at lightning speed.
To really ground all this data, let's look at a fantastic observation from Pre's perspective. Pre notes that in Ohio markets like Columbus and Hilliard, we're seeing dead retail strips gain a second life as critical infrastructure for the e-commerce supply chain. I love this because it perfectly encapsulates the shift. Those dying malls you drive past, actually, scratch that, they aren't dying at all. They are actively reviving as the hidden backbone of instant delivery. Success is no longer measured by how many people walk through the front doors to shop. It is strictly measured by how fast a package can leave the back door.
Which leaves us with one final, incredibly important question to consider as we wrap up. Will your local neighborhood center adapt, or will it become completely obsolete? Because the last mile is undeniably the new front line of retail survival. The spaces that embrace this invisible, industrial hybrid model are going to thrive. And the ones that don't, well, they'll simply fade away. Thank you so much for exploring the invisible world of last mile delivery with me in this explainer. Next time you click Buy Now, you're going to know exactly the massive hidden machine you just set into motion right in your own neighborhood. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I will see you next time.